56, the Phoenix Suns here at the break. Grant and Ryan, first of all, congratulations to your Aztecs. Boy, you called that. You were absolutely spot on that game, man. You were spot on.
Thanks, Napes. Very, very excited. And thank you in the pregame show to everybody that congratulated us. On to the Elite Eight. We'll see where it goes from there.
Man, all right, your thoughts on that first half?
I have no problem with the way the Kings played. I think it's more about how the Suns played. The Kings look completely rested to me. They look in rhythm. Shots aren't falling as much as they'd like. Phoenix is just out physicaling them. Yeah, I mean, they're getting to the line a little bit more. Inside, they're getting eaten up, but no problems, really.
Kings shot well from the floor overall, 52%. Threes were not that good. They only got to the line 4 times, Ryan. 4 free throws in that first half for Sacramento. Monty Williams, who was fined $20,000 for his tirade of the officials, his team went to the line 10 times and made 9. Neither team really shot the ball well from 3. What's surprising to me about this first half is that Phoenix put 67 points up on the board, Ryan, and yet they only made 2 3-pointers. That's a little bit of an alarm to me.
Yeah, Grant, it is. I mean, they're eating them up inside again. The Kings have been forced to go with a little bit of a smaller lineup because of the foul trouble with Keegan Murray. And I'm a little surprised, actually, that we have not seen Richaun Holmes in this situation. Metu is not really doing much inside. So the Kings maybe need to look to do something to stop the points in the paint.
Yeah, good. Again, a high-scoring game. The Suns with 2 high-scoring quarters, 67 on the board. I mean, Devin Booker's doing what Devin Booker normally does. I mean, that's what you expect. But, again, I'm looking at the trends of this game, and I'm just a little nervous that the Kings are down 9. Not that they can't make up or they're down 11. Again, I keep on looking at that 3-point number for Phoenix. Are we to expect that the Phoenix Suns are going only to shoot 14% from 3 in the second half? I mean, doesn't that total have to come up? And if it does, isn't that going to make it very difficult for the Kings to win this game?
Yeah, it is. But I'll counter that, Grant, by saying the Kings only shot 28.6% from the 3-point line. So, if the Kings start shooting the rock a little bit better from behind the arc, that's going to make a difference. But yeah, if Phoenix starts lighting it up and Booker gets on fire, that can certainly be an issue. But it seems like you brought up Monty Williams and everything that happened with him calling out the refs. It seems like Phoenix is very motivated to get to the hoop tonight, and it's paying off with them getting to the line.
Not only are they motivated to get to the hoop, they're motivated to stay in 4th, because if they lose, they fall out of the top 4 spots. All right.
This is true.
Past them. And Memphis has already won. So, if the Kings lose this game, and again, there's a long way to go, that would put them 3 back in a loss column. Now they have the tiebreaker, but that would be with 9 games left, you'd be 2 games back of Memphis. I'm talking about where a tie would get you in. That's you're probably thinking 3 seed right now, but then you have Utah coming in Minnesota. This is no time for a slide right now for the Sacramento Kings. They are going to need a really impressive second half, Ryan.
Yeah, they will. But I think the way they're playing right now, Grant, I think that impressive second half is possible so long as Phoenix does not catch fire, like you said, from behind the arc. They look good, but they're at home, crowds into it. I think that this is going to be a classic Kings game where they make a run, whether it's at the start of the 3rd or midway through the 4th, and make this one interesting.
The Kings being at home doesn't mean anything to me. They're better on the road than they are at home. So I don't even factor that into it. I'll tell you what's amazing to me is Chris Paul. Does the guy ever turn the freaking ball over? Seriously. 11 assists, no turnovers. Does the guy ever turn the ball over?
Grant, if I say to you Chris Paul is washed, you say what?
Really?
So that ate up about 15 minutes of the pregame show, just so you know.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I had to read off the assist totals from the previous 2 games, 15 and 19, respectively. So he is just a consummate professional, and, his body control, Grant. I mean, he makes everybody around him better.
All right, let's get some predictions in the final scores. Ryan, what do you think the final score is going to be?
Well, I didn't think Phoenix would have 67 in the first half. Kings pick it up from behind the 3-point line. I'm going to say both teams are going to be in the 130s. I think the Kings are going to have big, high 128 to 126 Sacramento.
All right, I think the Suns are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win this game 131 to 128.
Okay, cool. We're in the same neighborhood then.
All right. But you got the Kings winning. I've got the Kings losing.
Yes.
And I hope I'm wrong here. I really do. But I mean, again, I just the Suns to score 67 points and only make 2 threes. I don't like that. I really don't.
I get that, Grant. Let me point you this direction too. The Kings only shot 4 free throws, and I know you brought that up earlier in the show. That number goes up. That's going to change a lot.
Yep.
Kessler Edwards. Here's another key. Kessler has played pretty good defensively in the first half, but he hasn't played a lot on Devin Booker. And I'd like to make sure that he gets on Devin Booker because he thrived against him in the game against Phoenix the last time.
All right, we're getting scores coming in. Thank you very much. We've got someone changing their score to the Suns 134, the Kings 122. And well, I wouldn't be so sure to just say that it looks like they're taking another L. An 11-point deficit is nothing for the Kings. It's absolutely nothing. They can make it up in 60 seconds. So the score, I'm not that concerned with the score as much as I'm concerned with how Phoenix got their 67 points. Does that make sense? The fact that the Kings are down 11, I'm more concerned with how the Suns scored their points. That makes me a little apprehensive for the second half.
Well, Grant, you even look at the rebounding totals. They've out-rebounded the Kings by 10. So
Yes.
not just the scoring, the free
Without
throw line.
DeAndre Ayton.
Without DeAndre Ayton, exactly. So it tells you the type of game plan Phoenix came in with, and the Kings need to figure it out. So I really would hope that we see Richaun Holmes or something different here in the second half.
Yeah, 67-56 at the break. Don't forget, Ryan and I will be coming on right after the game as well. And we want to thank Bennett's with a third location coming soon to Rockland, Roseville, and Sacramento. Roseville, Eureka, and Lead Hill Road, and on the corner of Howe and Fair Oaks in Sacramento. Prime seafood and steak. Don't forget, 50 different types of wine available by the glass. On the weekend, the specialty is the prime rib. And don't forget about the weekend brunch. Brian and his family are big-time King supporters. I'm sure Brian's at the game right now. That's Bennett's. Don't forget, they're coming to Rockland real soon. Right now, the Kings are figuring out a way to cut this gap and get a W against the Phoenix Suns. Again, the Suns need to win this game to stay in fourth place in the West.
Yeah, and that's another good motivator for them, certainly, because of the 2.5 games that separates fourth and I believe 11th at this point.
It's unbelievable. It's unfreaking believable. It really is. When you look at the standings in the West, and we do this a lot, but I think we have to. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. I mean, you have Phoenix right now. They are basically tied with the Clippers, but I mean, percentage points, they're tied. But the point is, they have one less loss. That could change tonight. The Warriors started night 38-36. Minnesota 37-37. The Lakers have 37 losses. The Pelicans and the Thunder all have 37 losses. The difference between 10th and 4th in the loss column is only 3 losses. How about that?
That's crazy. Grant, we were talking about it on the pregame show. It's like, don't worry so much what the Kings do going forward and start worrying about the bottom part of the playoffs to see who they're going to be playing. So that is what's so interesting, because there's a 5-game separation right now between Phoenix and Sacramento.
Yep. And the Warriors are leading the Sixers in San Francisco by 2 points. So we'll keep you up to date on that score as well. All right, give me a key or two you think the Kings are going to have to do in this second half to get to W.
3-point shooting is one. They've got to have more 3-point shooting. I'm good with their assists. They've had 14 so far in this game, and I like the flow. But it's absolutely going to have to be on the boards and points in the paint. They've got to shut that down, or at least find a way to slow it down.
I was just going to say, points in the paint, they're getting manhandled, which is, again, surprising without Ayton. Now, it's been a problem for the Kings all season, is the points in the paint. That's been an issue. So we'll see. Somebody was just saying Dallas just went to 11th. Yeah, I know, Manny. I didn't even get to that point.
Yeah.
Think about that. Dallas is now out of even the play-in, and so much for Kyrie and Luka playing together, huh? They lost to freaking Charlotte tonight.
They are out of sorts in Dallas. There's no doubt about that, but
Yep.
there's enough basketball for them to get it turned around. They haven't been healthy either, Grant. I mean, it doesn't seem like the two of them Luka and Kyrie can consistently get on the court together.
All right, you had Sabonis with 16 in that first half, Fox with 11. And I think, again, you're going to need more production from that bench in that second half. Monk had 7, but, they only had 11 points from that bench, Ryan.
Yeah, the bench got to do a little bit more, Grant.
Yep.
Trey Lyles just doesn't look right to me. I've said
No, he
that for a
doesn't.
couple of games now. So if that's the case, then let him get right before the playoffs. That's why you have the cushion that you have in the 3 seed. So that'll be interesting to see if he can get it going.
All right, the Phoenix Suns, again, they shoot 52% in that first half. And, as Ryan said, their assist to turnover ratio, outstanding, 14 to 4, or excuse me, the Kings, I'm saying their assist to turnover ratio is very good. I'm with you on that. There's nothing wrong with the Kings' assist to turnover ratio in that first half. So I like that area. Again, I point to rebounds and points to the paint. You're right. Because if they take care of the ball and they have 28 to 30 assists, and they only have 8 turnovers for the game, I think they're going to win this game.
Absolutely. I'm with you there, Grant.
So, I like that stat. Again, the Suns, when you have Chris Paul, you're going to have a high assist total. I can't imagine the Suns having 21 assists in the second half. If they do have 21 assists, well, then obviously they're going to win.
Exactly. Yeah, 21 if they do. And it's possible. Look what Chris Paul's done to the Kings this season. But yeah, that would be a win for Phoenix most likely.
Again, does the guy turn the ball over? I mean, how many point guards can we talk about in the history of the game that, when they turn the ball over, it's like, oh my God, he turned the ball over. That's what happens when Chris Paul makes a mistake. It's like he's got a string attached to his
Yes.
the ball,
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's not just that, it's decision making, Grant. I mean, he is so strategic with that ball and how he gets certain players involved. I mean, if you're going to knock Chris Paul, you can knock him for not winning the big one. You can knock him for injury issues, but you can't knock the play on the court when he's out there.
All right. Again, second half is going to be coming up in just a moment. Make sure you hit the like button. If you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe. We would appreciate that. Again, 67 to 56 at the break. Ryan and I will be back for the post-game show. And let's hope we're not talking about a Sacramento Kings 3-game losing streak. Because, again, with Utah coming in, who gives the Kings fits, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who now look like they're going to be fully healthy, you do not want this stretch of the season to go south. That's for darn sure.
Amen, Grant. Amen.
All right. So long, everybody. Look forward to having you on here for the post-game show in about an hour. So long.